Well, welcome to Geostatistical Error Management, taught by Jeff Myers. I'm Rick Hardy. I'm with Technical Services in the Modeling and Risk Analysis Group. And just a little housekeeping, first of all, mainly for the people in Boise. We have snacks. I hope you guys have snacks up there.
We have no snacks. Don't take snack breaks.
Sorry about that. And so thanks for Helene and Sherry for the snacks and for putting the course manuals together. I think everybody knows where the bathrooms are, probably. There's a sign-in sheet in the back, so please sign that if you haven't. Every morning and every afternoon. We need it to justify the snacks, and also the Ps will need it for their to get PDH credits for it. So I'd like to thank Chris and Nicholas for helping set this up and for paying Jeff's airfare, because he's given a workshop for her on lagoon seepage on Thursday, which some of you will be at, I think. I'd like to thank my boss, Mark Dietrich, for agreeing to pay for it and for selling the idea to Tony. And Bruce Wachurski for running it through his waste management contract. Let's see, Bruce. Oh, there's. Let's see, who else? And yeah, Bruce is manager of a waste management contract. URS is one of several contractors we have, and Jeff works for URS. I'd like to thank Elizabeth Romano at URS for helping, doing some very quick contract work. She's way back in the corner there, and she's sitting with her bodyguard, Derek Young. He used to be a DEQ employee long ago, I understand. And again, thanks to Sherry and Helene for all their work putting the course manuals together and the treats. And finally, Lindsay Stanton and Scott Pitzer are helping with the video. Lindsay and Tressa are going to archive this, so we'll have the training to keep. And the other video has Coeur d'Alene and Idaho Falls, and we'll do introductions in a minute.
Yes.
And finally, I'd like to introduce Mark Clough, who's our new quality director, and I appreciate his encouragement about this course. There's Mark. Stand up, Mark. Oh, you are standing.
Oh.
That was. I feel bad now. Part of this course is about DQOs, and that's a big part of quality, and quality program, which Mark will be rolling out. And we just lost.
I didn't touch that. We lost all our.
They're just really small.
They're real small now. I didn't touch them.
Okay, well, what fixes that? So finally, I'd like to introduce Jeff Meyer. Jeff is a geostatistics expert with over 30 years' experience in characterization, sampling, statistics, uncertainty management, and data quality. He is the author of Geostatistical Error Management, and we had a copy of the book. Which Mike Stambulis bought for Tech Services, so I'll pass it around and you can take a look at it. We're not selling it, but you got it if you want to take a look at it. If you pass the exam, Jeff will give you a copy of his book. Right?
That's true. That's true.
Not really.
No one wants to take the exam.
Not really. let's see, Jeff is the author of Geostatistical Error Management, which has been used as model for EPA's RCRA guide called RCRA Waste Sampling Draft Technical Guidance. He is a senior fellow engineer with URS Safety Management in Aiken, South Carolina. And I'm not sure what senior fellow means, but I took a class from Jeff about 13 years ago, and his beard was dark back then, so that's probably what.
That was true. There's a lot more gray hairs these days.
Yeah, I really enjoyed his teaching style, and that's part of the reason I wanted to hook this up. So with that, if you guys can still hear us, I'll turn it over to Jeff and
Great.
go for it.
Thank you, Rick. Again, thank you and Tressa and everybody. You've done the thank yous, but there are a lot of people went to a lot of trouble on short notice in some cases to make this happen. Everything from the contracts to the video to the course notes and so on. And so I just want to thank everybody also, and it's very good to be here. This is a great group. I'm glad to see such interest and turnout. And I hope we're going to have fun today and tomorrow. You can see that we have some fun little bead models. We're going to do some actual physical sampling and show how the concepts and theory of statistics actually plays out in real life. And hopefully you will take home more than just equations, of which there really are only like one or two in the whole presentation. I learned long ago that I can put you to sleep pretty quickly. If you look at the book, which actually its major function is to put people to sleep at night, if you have trouble getting to sleep, it's wonderful. We won't do that. Okay, I want to keep you awake. I want to keep you alert. Please ask questions. It's your course. And again, we'll try and have fun if that's possible in statistics. I know there's no statistical humor, actually, so I'm a little handicapped that way. But again, it's great to be here. And so before we start, I just wanted to make sure everyone has a set of course notes and one of the little bead models in front of them. If you don't, I have a couple extra up here in the front. And just let me know. We won't actually need them till right after lunch, but let me know if there's an issue. You should have course notes and should have an agenda. I'm going to go over that quickly. We'll start with just a quick welcome and introduction, and then we'll go on to the major topics. As Rick said, data quality objectives is up front. Then we'll get into the statistics as they apply to how we use them in the environment. Each field of study tends to have its own slant and needs and quality issues. For instance, agriculture versus pharmaceuticals, or mining versus the environment, or medical reviews and so on. Everyone has a little bit different take on the world, even though most of us use all the same statistical equations. After that, we'll do what's really near and dear to my heart, geostatistical appraisal. That's 2 or 3 dimensional statistics. How do you deal with things that aren't simply, as a classic statistician would say, the black balls and the white balls, picking them out of the urn? You know, and what's the probability of getting a black one or a white one? When we go spatial, we have special issues, challenges, and in my mind, a little bit of fun to deal with that. After lunch, I will try and keep you awake by picking beads out of the I'm Normal bead models. Then we will talk about some of the issues in statistics. I'll raise the rah-rah flag here this morning and then say, okay, you also have to be careful. Statistics is a great tool, but as any tool, it can be misused, or not intentionally. Well, it could be intentionally, but usually unintentionally, just by lack of knowledge. And then finally, we're going to end the day with a prelude to tomorrow's exercise, which is actually doing physical sampling of particulate materials and the issues and problems surrounding that, called Once a Molecule. And it's a real thought exercise of how to view environmental sampling. And that and the the sampling theory are things that I hope you're really going to take home from this course. There are a number of take-homes, and one of the things is that these little models teach us a lot about why we see the funny lab results we do sometimes when we get the results back from the laboratory. All right. So without further ado, one more thing. If you don't have a couple of sheets, 2 or 3 sheets in the front that say I'm normal and I'm peppy, we'll let Sherry know, and we'll get you those. Now, I'm okay to stand over here, it looks like. Okay. All right. Now, can everybody hear me? We got mics. I'm like a Secret Service man on steroids here with 2 different microphones here. As Rick said, I'm Jeff Myers. I work with URS. These days, I'm working out of Aiken, South Carolina. I told him yesterday when I went there, I had 1 syllable in my first name and 2 in my last. I was Jeff Myers. And now they pronounce it more like J.F. Myers. So I've changed my personality over the last 10 years. But I haven't picked it up. So he read my background. I've dabbled in all sorts of things. I started in the mining industry, and that goes up and down, as you probably know, in Idaho. And during one of the cycles, I realized you could apply the geostatistics to the environment, and very effectively. And so for the last more than 30 years, I've been doing that. I dabble in mining still a little bit, but it's easier to make a living, unfortunately, in the environmental world. So I have to kind of transition back and forth. So for my benefit more than yours, of course, you all know each other. I'd just like to go around the room and have people introduce themselves, who they are, what you do here at DEQ, maybe your educational background, just a very quick summary so I have an idea who we're talking to. So we'll start right here. Okay, I think we're ready to go. We've kind of gone through the course materials already. Moving along, that's me again. And so we will continue with the next module.